Good morning, everybody. It is currently 10 a.m. my time, Central Time. I have not slept all night. The Holy Spirit had me up praying, and I want to show you guys what's in my yard today. I got a couple of cows out here. Well, a bull and a cow. It's a beautiful day today in Honduras. Y'all pray for all of us Americans abroad. The Lord wanted me to share with you guys today in regards to just an extension to what I was sharing with you guys yesterday, or actually this morning at 3 a.m. About the sleeper cells, and he wanted me to share my testimony about the vision that he gave me about the U.S. Right before I left my corporate America job. This was the vision that God used to wake me up out of my bubble, I guess you could say. So I had a vision. Actually, I had a dream. It was a vision dream that I was walking across the railroad tracks in the little town that I was living in, and I was walking across the railroad tracks, and as I was walking across, all of a sudden I saw like all these troops everywhere. They were wearing like black suits with black masks. They kind of looked like those masks that you can breathe, because it had like the eyes and I don't even know how to describe it, just that they were breathing right with this mask. And they weren't speaking English. It was a different language. And they were grabbing people, civilians, off the roads, and they were taking them under. In the city that I lived in, there's a lot of, at the time, when I was living in that city, in those buildings, they have underground, I don't want to say bunkers, but like cellars, I guess you could say. Like there was places underneath the buildings where there's people could go, or there's storage or whatever. So they were piling people in there. And so I was walking across, and I was floating, like it was like, because I was in this vision, I was floating. Oh my gosh, the cow is over here. Look, I haven't seen any cows coming through my yard till last night. The weird things are happening with animals. Have you guys noticed that? I've had the birds were up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, like chirping. Anyway, I'm off the bandwagon here. So anyway, so in the dream, they were grabbing civilians, and I was like crying in this vision. I was saying, I gotta go, because they were trying to grab me, and I said, I gotta get my grandpa. I was saying that in the vision, in the dream. I was like, I gotta go get my grandfather, and so they said, no, we already have him. And so they took me, and I had my children there with me, and they were stacking these boxes. I went inside underneath, and there were people inside of the boxes. They were like black, big, like coffin-sized boxes, and they were stacking people inside, and they were stacking them, like literally stacking the boxes on top of the other. And I could hear the people crying, singing. They were singing hymns. There was people that were praying. There were children that were crying. All of us were Christians. Everyone that was in there were Christians. We were crying out to God, please God, help us. And then I came out of that vision dream, and I literally sat up in my bed and was crying. I was shaken by this vision dream. I'm not going to say what 2 countries the Lord told me that were on American soil at that time, because I feel like I'm not just going to mention the countries. I don't feel I should mention the country names. But there were 2 countries that were invading the U.S. That vision dream actually woke me up from my bubble, and I started to research. I had this vision dream in 2011. The Lord started to reveal to me then that this was something that could come to the U.S., that it would be an invasion from outside enemies, right? And like I mentioned to you guys before, you know, it's not for me to bring fear. This is to bring awareness, to wake people up and say, you know, get right with Jesus right now. Just start asking Jesus to come into your heart and help you with what's to come. I know that we're all going to go through some type of persecution, and you know, in the US. Now, currently I am not in the US. The Lord has led me here. I don't know what that looks like for here, for Honduras. The Lord has led me back here to do some missions work, but also you know, it's almost like the timing of everything is just, I'm just seeing that God is really bringing everything to pass what he showed me back in 2011. I want to share more about the visions and dreams that God has given me back then, because I feel that there's a sense of urgency to share. There's a sense of urgency to wake people up. And like I said, this is not to bring fear, but this is a time where God is shifting. And to the chosen ones, I have a message, and I'm going to make another video about that. God bless.